When someone comes to us for assistance, it's always a good idea to search CharityTracker to see if they have already been entered into the system. We'll click the search button and type their name. We'll look through the search results for our client and click on their name to open their case. When their case opens, we can review their information. If any information needs to be added or changed, we just need to click the Edit Case button. In the window that opens, we find three sections: Identification, Income and Expenses, and Demographics. Let's start with the Identification section. This section contains all basic identifying information like name, date of birth, and social security number. There's also street and mailing address, phone numbers, and finally, any additional identification numbers like driver's license or utility account number. The next section keeps track of income sources and expenses. The third section is demographics. Here we find all the basic demographics like gender, race, and education. Custom demographics can be added by our CharityTracker network administrator. After we've added information or made changes to our client's case, we need to click the Save Changes button. All of the additions and changes to our client's case will be recorded in the History of Modifications section. Now let's take a look at the different ways we can add other information to our client's case. On the right-hand side of the screen, we see 5 tabs: Personal Info, that's the tab we're looking at right now, and Assistance, Relationships, Notes, and Alerts. The Assistance tab is where we record the assistance we have given. We can also see what assistance other agencies have given to our client. We can filter this list 3 ways. 1. Based on assistance given to our client. 2. Based on assistance given to our client and those living with our client. And finally 3. Based on assistance given to our client and both those living with and related to our client. Creating an assistance record is easy. We'll click the Add Assistance button, and in the window that opens, we'll type the amount of assistance given. We'll define a unit of measurement. Here we see dollars, boxes, bags, and pounds. Custom units of measurement can be added by our CharityTracker network administrator. Next, we can add a category for our assistance. Custom categories can be added by the CharityTracker network administrator or by the administrator for our agency. We can add a description if we need to. CharityTracker will automatically timestamp the assistance record we are adding, but if we need to give the record a different time, we can edit the values in these fields. Finally, we have the option to make the record private. When we make a private record, only the agents in our agency have permission to view the record. When we click the Add button, we see the record appear in the list of assistants for our client. The Relationships tab is where we keep track of interpersonal connections in CharityTracker. Let's click the Add Relationship button to see how this works. In the window that opens, we see that we need to enter the name of the person we'd like to link with our client. We'll call this person our new relationship. It is always a good idea to do a search to see if our new relationship has already been entered into the system. We'll type the name of our new relationship and click the Search button. In the next window that opens, we see our search results. If we don't find our new relationship, we have the option to add a new person to CharityTracker. But since we do see the new relationship in our search results, we'll click on their name. In the next window that opens, we need to define the relationship. Let's fill in the fields. We have the option to define whether our new relationship is a dependent of our client, and we have the option to record that our client and our new relationship live at the same address. Once we click the Add Relationship button, we see that we have made a record of the relationship. Now let's take a look at the Notes tab. The Notes tab is a good place to keep track of information for our client that can't be recorded in other sections of CharityTracker. Adding a note is simple. We'll click the Add Note button and type our note. We have the option to make the note private. When we make a private note, only the agents in our agency have permission to view the record. Once we click the Add Note button, our note is recorded. Alerts are a great way to add time-sensitive notes to a case. We'll click the Add Alert button and type our message. We have the option of sending an email notification to everyone in our CharityTracker network. Once we click the Add Alert button, the alert is recorded and the emails are sent. Now that we've looked at the Case Management tabs, there's just a few more things to cover concerning case management. In the bottom right-hand corner, we see 3 links. Edit Case is a shortcut link to edit the basic information of a case. Flag Case allows us to send a private message to the network administrator concerning the case we are viewing. And Case Report allows us to run a report on the case we are viewing. When we click the Case Report link, a window opens where we can define the parameters for our report. We have the option to include private assistance records, and we can include assistance records for people who are living with our client and records for people who are related to our client. We can set the output format for our report. We can choose to print our report, or we can choose to download a file that we can open with a data processing program like Microsoft Excel. We can adjust the filters for our report. We can define a data range. We can filter by funding source. We can decide what assistance categories we'd like to include, and we can choose to run a report based on the agent providing the assistance. Once we click the Next button, we can adjust the format of our report. Using the checkboxes, we can define what information we want to be included. If we've chosen a print report, we just click the Create Report button and we are taken to a page that we can print. If we've chosen a CSV report, our report is put into a queue for processing and will be available in 15 minutes. We will be notified by email when the report has finished processing. It is important to note we can continue to use CharityTracker while our CSV report is being processed. And there we have it. We've just covered working with cases in CharityTracker.